I am spending 100 days in Jurassic Ark Evolved. This video has taken a ton of time to complete, it has been extremely challenging, and I'd really appreciate it if you find yourself enjoying it, consider giving it a like and sharing it with your friends. Let's see how it went. Day 1 of Ark started out pretty much as they always do. You wake up naked, cold, and determined. I started making my way down a beach only to end up coming across a horde of compies, but I did not want to deal with that right away, not at least before I had any tools. I came across a dodo, which I promptly decided to murder for some meat.
I'm sorry, little one.
I hit some trees, some rocks, and I cooked some food, which was very tasty dodo. I tried to tame a rat that wanted to steal my loot, but I was not successful as it decided to just run away and not deal with me. Because I came across a giant bird that I did not want to get close to because I was not sure if it was aggressive. By the end of the day, I managed to have myself a nice little box, meat, and some cloth armor, so I started to work on some narcotics. Morning of day 2 rolled around, I murdered some compies. I saw a trike, which looked really bigger than they usually do, and I tamed a dodo, which I decided to name Doris. I also tamed a tsinsow, which I name is not sure if I'm even saying that correctly because it's spelled like this, I have no clue. I picked up my dodo and I ended up riding back to safety. I came across a dino which I had to kill with my tsinsow, and I started to build a basic little base. Chopping down some trees was obviously as they always do because you need wood, thatch, and fiber and all these wonderful resources in order to craft a base. As day 3 came around, I continued working on my base just because I did not want to be caught out in the open with no structures to hide in, and then I figured I need to get myself some metal. So I headed off, and then I promptly fell off a cliff and broke my ankles. I came across a wyvern on the beach, which was pretty scary because I didn't realize if they were aggressive or not. And then I was promptly trampled in my own base as all the creatures just decided that is a great stomping ground. As I continued to work towards the smithy, I had some fun playing dodo ball, throwing Doris into the base. And then on morning day 4, as I logged in to find my base had been damaged and my tsinsow was nowhere to be seen. I found some bobs on the beach who were other guys playing on my server, and then I made my smithy, made some bowlers, and I went out to go murder a moss chops. As I decided I wanted to get some metal tools, I realized I would probably need some more wood, so I ended up going and harvesting a bunch, and I had to do the wood shuffle as I threw wood out my inventory to get it back to the base. Came across a theory which tried to kill me, and then yeah, I decided I'm not dealing with that. And I got back to the base and decided, okay, best to repair this as I can't leave it in this damaged state. I tamed myself another tsinsow, and on day 5 came around, I named my tsinsow Timmy 2 after Timmy 1 who had disappeared, and then I ended up murdering some bugs for some of their chitin. I went out, harvested berries where I was attacked by a raptor, and that killed me and made me pretty much lose all my stuff. As I woke up in my base, I made myself some hard armor, tried to kill a pego, and ran to go get my stuff back, hoping to not run into those raptors again. Day 6 came around, I managed to bowler and trank out a terror. I was offered some eggs by the tribe down the beach, but I declined. And then I got some weird stones from a supply drop, not quite sure what they were used for yet. I ended up trying to trank a trike, and then at day 7 almost drowned harvesting a moss chops. Figured I'd want to get out onto the water so I can be safe, so I crafted a raft, named it SS Deep Causes, named Terrence the trike, named Terry the pteranodon, ate some melons, saw a bear thingy, and then I started building a raft platform. I went off to go find some crystal, because obviously you need crystal to make spyglasses and all these wonderful things. So I got some crystal, made some raft upgrades, and I figured I should tell you guys. The server's public, you're welcome to join it, but just simply joining the Discord, links in the video description, and you can come play alongside me if you want to. Day 8, I found these boxes from this broken down shipwreck on the beach, and they gave me some nice loot, so I'll happily come and harvest these again at some point, as you will see. I was almost attacked by this trike looking thing, which I assumed would have been passive, but obviously not. And then I made myself an awesome spyglass, so I can actually see what is trying to eat me the whole time. I tamed myself up a Hesperosaurus, and I managed to get to 100%, but for whatever reason it did not finish taming. I named him Harry, and then I ended up taming up another tsinsow who I named Timmy 3. Day 9, Harry helped me to defend my base against a Metriacanthosaurus, because for whatever reason he decided he doesn't like me, so he wants to come and eat my base. Made myself a preserving bin, And then I got into the drug trade, making narcotics. Day 10 rolled around and I realized I need chitin to make a pteranodon saddle. So I've headed out to go find myself some bugs that I can kill. And then I saw a fish on land. I don't know why the fish are on land. They're supposed to stay in the water. Who knows? I murdered some turtles to get the keratin because that was the only thing I could find. I was not able to find any trilobites. And now I was home. I finally had the power of flight. Although at first it was very slowly because I was really heavy. So I decided let's get myself a better bird. I found a giant goose that tried to kill me and I almost succeeded. So I continued off on my journey. And then I came across a sleeping wyvern, and I decided it's best not to stick around after I woke it up, if the message saying you have awoken the dragon was not warning enough. And then I came across a level 350 Rexy, probably the first carnivore that is actually scary to me, other than the bronze wyvern that I'd just woken up. As day 11 came around, I remembered that I probably needed some honey to tame up some of these creatures, so I came across a beehive and I really wanted some honey. I was promptly executed by the bees for my mistake of trying to take their honey. Fortunately, I had the other terror already taming, so I made another saddle and promptly named him Terry 2, after Terry 1, who just sacrificed himself to the bees. And decided let's go head off into get some more boxes to replace my tools, as I figured that's probably the safest and easiest way. Day 12 started off with me tranking a tanky, no, I was tranking an Anki, and led him into the community trap, which I didn't realize was locked, so now I was just as trapped as the Anki, and as they opened the door for me, it took one swing, took me out, and yeah, that was my second death. Tranking out the Anki took pretty much the entire day, and then I continued to work on the base more. At the end of day 12, I realized I could make myself some merc armor, so I needed some polymer. So I went off in search of some penguins that I could club, and then I ended up making myself some park ranger gear, and I was ready to take on the rest of the mod, now that I was looking the part. Day 13 ended up being slightly less productive. I ended up helping the Ghidorah tribe to trank out a level 300 Bronto, as well as I had to repair the base a bit more. I find at the start of day 14, I'd finally finished taming up Terry number 3, and I also ended up doing a whole bunch of base work and just general cleanup. On day 15, as I went out exploring on Terry 3, I found this cool castle, murdered some penguins, and then I finally managed to make an Anki saddle for my Anki that I tamed up slightly earlier. I was attacked by a pteranodon in midair, and in case you weren't aware, these pteranodons can pick you up off your mount, so it was a very stressful battle for me, but I finally managed to come out victorious. Continuing on my search, I found this level 340 Ultimasaurus, which was really scary to me, so I decided just to avoid it completely. As day 16 rolled around, I went out and I was looking out for some Deinonychus eggs, but unfortunately I was not able to find any that I really was happy with or that were a decent enough level. I almost died to the cold, but luckily I was able to get back to base in the nick of time, where I made some cool base lights so I can actually see what's going on, and I made a nice little kitchen. On day 17 and 18 got a little bit blurred as I made a fabricator, realized I'd made the wrong thing, so I had to head off to go find some beavers so I could get some cementing paste, as well as some crystals so I could make the engine fab station. I came across a level 280 Giga, which at first scared me, but then I remembered that Gigas in this mod are not very scary, so I was not too concerned. Rexes are generally scarier. I came across a Patreon cave where I was able to go check out some of the cool Patreon statues in there, and then I finally managed to make the correct workbench. As day 19 came out, I decided I want something better than a pteranodon, so I found this giant bird, made a trap for it, went up to aggro it so it would fly into the trap, and it immediately flew away. But instead I came across a peaceful Deinonychus known as a Baylor, and I decided let's start to try and tame it. I came across also these cute little owls, which I assumed would be shoulder pets, so I tried to trank one out, and it promptly murdered me. As I came back, I wisened up, and I actually used a bowler for once in my life, and then I finally knocked out the owl. So at day 20, I had myself a new pet owl, finished taming up the Baylor, which I ended up naming Billietta, and then on day 21, I decided I want a better hairstyle, because I was not happy with my rifled up hair. I need my signature look. So I went and I harvested up some obsidian, wood, and other resources, made a pair of scissors, cut myself some nice hair, and then I was chased by raptors. I tried to lead all the raptors into a trap when I managed to do so, and then I almost died and lost all my armor standing on the edge of the trap. And then the worst thing that could have happened happened. A raptor escaped and killed me. I finally managed to then get by and block the door with gates so that the last few raptors couldn't escape. And then after tranking it out as much as I could, I tried to feed it dead dilos so its health would go up. So this was now on day 22. I had to repair my armor. I now ended up wasting a bunch of resources and a bunch of time trying to tame a raptor that I hardly ended up using, because at the time of doing this voiceover, I'm actually still playing on this series. So I don't know how it ends. I made an emote drink to remind people to, hey, leave a like on the video if you find yourself enjoyed it. Would really appreciate it. And then finally, the raptor was tamed up. As day 23 rolled around, I ended up getting attacked by a pteranodon, as well as my fellow allied tribe mates from down the road, and we reenacted the everything is fine meme. I found some rocks that I was able to hit to give myself some honey, and then I ended up taming up a Teo trio. A cute little archery wyvern hybrid thingy, whatever they are. I found another one and then I bred them together, made myself a nanny, and ended up crafting up my raft again because I was not happy with how it looked. On day 25, I woke up to a gift. I'd received a frog from my allies down the beach who, for helping them tame the Bronto early on in the season, they gave me a frog. I came across this high-level pangolin wyvern and decided to trap it, and then the frog actually came in real handy because I was able to use the frog to deal a whole bunch of torpor, and then I had to head off to go kill some Brontos to get myself some prime meat. Once the pangolin was finally knocked out, I went and fetched my bitty, my binturong that I tamed earlier on in this playthrough, and Bitty actually has a special ability in that Bitty will give creatures around it, make them hungry, so it will reduce their hunger faster. I finished taming up the pangolin and I decided to name it Armadillo. On day 26, I stumbled across an Omega Rex, which was really scary for me because if they roar you, you will die off your mount. So I decided to just avoid it completely, and I headed out to explore to get some resources to make up a trank rifle. I ended up getting stunned by a Corodontosaurus and it killed me. Rip Billietta, my Baylor that I had from a few days ago. Decided that I need to replace Baylor now with a Corodontosaurus, so I made myself the trank rifle, I trapped the Corodontosaurus, and then I went to go murder some baby penguins for prime meat on day 27. By the time the Corodontosaurus was tamed up, we had a new member on the server, so I ended up helping up by showing him where some crystal spawns are by just giving him a lift on my wyvern. I ended up needing some metal, so I took out my Anki and named it Anchor, and then I took my anchor and I went and harvested up a bunch of metal with it. I had to save my anchor from a Corodontosaurus that had decided to attack it while I was busy leading it home, and then I ended up getting drugged by a Monolonosaurus. Day 28, I needed some more meat, so I went out and I was killing a bunch of brackies, which almost ended up killing me. And then the rest of the day ended up spent just flying around looking for stuff to tame. On day 29, while I was busy flying around, I came across the Colossal Megalodon, the main boss shark of the mod. And I decided I don't want to deal with that right now, so I'll save that for day 100 when we finally get to it. And figured I would like a T-Rex. So I went back to base, I prepared multiple forges, crossbows, made some metal billboards, and made some bear traps. I was ready to tame a Rex. I placed my billboards and bear traps close to where I'd seen a level 300 female, and then Ark decided to crash. As I logged in to see day 30 had started, I was thankfully on the floor below my wyvern, but I was safe and that was all that mattered. I tried and tried to get the Rex's attention to finally lead it into the trap, and then the moment of truth came in and the Rex was in. But the Rex roared me, I was stunned, and then I panicked and jumped back on my wyvern and flew to the other side of it. Thankfully I was smart and I'd prepared 2 bear traps, so it ended up getting itself stuck in the second bear trap, and then I was able to run up and place a billboard down behind it so it was now stuck in the trap. Now, the painful moment of trying to trank out this Rex. Trank after trank after trank, we finally knocked her out. I threw down Bitty, my binturong, to help its hunger drain faster, and the Rex was mine. I decided to name her T-Rexy because I didn't know what else to name her, and I was not very original when it comes to my names. On day 31, I realized I was actually too low a level to make a Rex saddle, so I just threw out my Rex and sent her in to go attack things manually. I had to repair all my armor again for the umpteenth time, and then I went to go gather out some more resources. I got a really sick Ascendant Chitin helmet, which I found quite useful. Day 32, I went out and harvested a buttload of honey, and then I used that honey to tame up some good boys, as well as start taming up a Segnosaurus. I ended up getting the Segno stuck between two of my creatures so that I could just simply stand there and easily passive tame it. On the morning of day 33, I saw a Nile Dragon, a really large Baryonyx, and a Fish Raptor all get into a fight. I wanted to trank out the Nile Dragon, but it managed to get itself killed. So I took out my Segno that I'd nicknamed Budget Theory and learnt it is actually terrible at gathering wood, which was the main reason I had tamed it. I failed at snap points trying to place the gates on my raft, and then I decided to go out and lock out and tame at level 300 Jurassic Park Dilo. Day 34, I found another level 300 Jurassic Park Rex, and then I went to go kill some beavers to steal their cement space. I tried to tame a 260 Rex, but it wouldn't go into the trap, so I sat on a cliff and tranked it till I was attacked by a Banshee. I ended up getting stunned by the Rex I was tranking out while I was safely on the cliff, and then I managed to knock it out in the forest. The Banshee then came and I ended up having a nice little scar battle with the Banshee, which I did ultimately win. And then on day 35 I saw a Fjordur, which I figured let me help out my fellow server mates, and I led it to Mare so that he could tame it. And then myself, I went and grabbed myself some more priming and went to go feed it to my Rex. I grabbed my Bitty and then I threw it onto the Rex, which was promptly attracted a Herarosaurus to come and attack it. Rip all the taming efficiency that I wanted on that Rex. Then there was another little Banshee outside my base, which I was able to kill, and then I decided I need some more frogs so that I can knock things out quite easier. So on day 36 I found a frog which I was able to tame up, and then I had to go and fend it off versus a bunch of raptors. So I chased down the frog, knocked it out, and yeah, managed to tame myself up another giant dart frog. I saw one of my server mates' wyverns getting attacked, but the raptors were murdered them before I was able to save it. And then I almost immediately flew straight into a level 340 Rexy. After that, I used my budget theory to go out and grind up some more resources just so I can continue building my raft yet again on the morning of day 37. After that, I decided I want some more loot, so I made myself up a bunch of grappling hooks and headed off to the loot caves. I've managed to get this most incredible Ascendant Stone Axe. Not useful at all, so I took out my frustration by murdering all the galleys outside. On the morning of day 38, as I was out exploring again looking for some more creatures to tame up, I stumbled into the most dangerous creature I have seen so far, a level 300 Indominus Rex. I promptly avoided everything to do with it. I did not want to mess with it at all. But instead I came across a level 300 Tarbosaurus that I decided to kill to give myself some bonus experience. I found a Platio which I was able to tame to give me unlimited access to drugs so that I can keep taming things. As I finished taming up the Platio, I came across another supply crate which gave me an Ascended Longneck blueprint of 250%. Absolutely perfect, it is just what I needed. And with that, I was finally a high enough level for the Rex saddle. It is time to start prepping for the vanilla bosses, because I want to kill them before day 50, because otherwise if I'm not on track to kill all the vanilla bosses by day 50, I don't think I have a chance to beat the mod by day 100. So after I crafted up the saddle, I took out my Rex on a bit of a test drive to get myself some meat to feed all my dinosaurs. And then I saw a Rexy and I was like, oh, I can take it, and I was promptly stunned straight off my Rex and killed. I cannot let my Rex die. So I grabbed my armadillo and I flew off to go and fight the Rexy. Using teamwork as well as my armadillo and my Trexy, which was already out, we managed to kill off the Rexy. Day 39 came in and I logged in to find a wyvern's head sticking in through the wall of my base. Not quite sure why, but I feel like I was getting trolled slightly. Found myself an Alpha Carno, and I thought it's a good opportunity to put my Trexie to work and kill it so I can get that bonus experience. I ended up stopping at the obelisk just so I can see what artifacts I need to go out and collect, and then I found another Alpha Carno. The experience is really starting to roll in at this point. Came across a Jabberwock which I was able to kill, and then that gave me some Jabberwock essence, which I can use to tame one of my own later on in the series. And then the worst thing could have happened. I found a Giga on my beach. Fortunately, I was able to kill it and save my base from being destroyed. On day 40, I decided to take another trip to the loot cave, and I actually got something good for once. I got an Ascendant fur cap, which is absolutely perfect on this map, for the simple reason is that this map is really cold. You really need to have fur in this map. Then I came across an Alpha Herasaurus, which allowed me to unlock prime darts, and I found a new little Binturong, which I have not yet named Bitty 2 because I don't think he lasted long enough for that. Tamed myself another Platio, and then I hid away from a level 200 Omega Rex while I was trying to get some more loot. I also saw a level 330 Razortooth, which I would have really liked to tame. I thought it would have been quite useful, but unfortunately I was unable to save it. Started day 41, I ended up running the loot cave again. I think you're kind of getting the theme at this point that I'm doing this loot cave a lot. And I managed to get an Ascendant crossbow. After that, I found a level 320 Saurian Brute Wyvern, and I really wanted to tame this. So I went, got stuff, made a trap, managed to get a trap, and then as I went to go get some Trankos, I came back only to learn it can damage stone. By the end of day 42, after I just spent like the whole day trying to trank it, it managed to break free, got in a fight with the Rex, and almost died. And then Raptors promptly came and killed it. I realized I really need to get myself a male frog. So I went out looking at all the rivers and the lakes, looking for little giant dart frogs, and I watched a Rex get suplexed by a Lucanidae, and I'm like, oh, that was rough for that poor little Rex. Day 43, I was busy taming another Binturong. I was messing around with some dancers, and then the Binturong promptly got stuck on my foot and died. So, rip Bitty number 4. I managed to find a frog, which ended up tranking me out before I tranked it out, and then I went ahead and tamed it. At the start of day 44, I started breeding up an army of frogs, and I ended up having to make a small little bunker for my tadpoles so I could continue breeding them. I ended up crapping my pants when a server mate stuck his wyvern's head through the wall and started breathing fire. Yeah, I have fun server mates. Yeah. On day 45, I was officially a mommy to hundreds of little frogs, so I decided to expand the frog pen, and then it was time to search for Rexes for the army to take out the boss fight on day 50. By day 46, I continued Rex searching, and instead I found an Alpha Carcharodontosaurus, which I managed to kill with my Armadillo, and I got a chibi from it. So I named the chibi Charmander after a suggestion from Chaotic Gaming, and I've managed to find an Omega Rex. I thought it's about time to try out the frog army. But another Rex came and ruined my luck, so I wasn't able to tame the Omega. But at least I was able to get an Ascendant pump action shotgun from the loot crate that spawned behind me. On day 47, I realized I was running out of time. I really need to beat a vanilla boss by day 50 in order to keep up my goal. So I started raising up more frogs, and then I ended up using my frogs to go out and tame some Suchomimuses so I can speedrun some caves. After that, I managed to find a 290 male Rex, which was exactly what I needed to keep the dream alive. So I managed to tame that, and then I entered my first cave alongside Meh, who decided to join me so we could have multiple artifacts. Mostly because all my shoulder pets had already died by this point. Started day 48, I spent doing the final 2 caves that we needed for the last 2 artifacts. We just barely managed to escape the second cave in the water cave in Fjordur, because it was rough. The Alpha Megalodons were basically eating our butts. Day 49, I've spent pretty much just raising Rexes, making saddles, and stressing about how this can all pretty much go horribly wrong, because if I don't kill this monkey by the end of tomorrow, I will fail, and I will have not achieved my goal. So day 50, I wake up, I'm feeling stressed, don't know if my Rexes are strong enough, but I just have to hope that they are. So go in, summoning the boss, we spawn into the arena, into the beautiful custom Fjordur Megapithecus arena. and the fight begins. Rex biting, monkeys summoning, boulders getting thrown, and finally we come out to challenge. Now, all that is left is I need to beat this Jurassic Park mod by day 100. This will be taking a while to complete. If you want to come along for the ride, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching this far, and I'll see you guys next time.